All opinions expressed in the video are my own. Viewer discretion is advised. Well, hello everyone, and we are back. What we're doing today, we are having a look at this cute Capricorn. And guess who that is? David Lynch. Capricorn City. Yo, yo, yo. Looks like David, doesn't it? I am a filmmaker, so yeah, throw a tomato at me. Yes, I am talking about David Lynch. And yeah, we are looking at his chart. Scorpio Rising. Let's just dive right in. David Lynch, a very profound, influential American director that has directed, created, and influenced the world of cinema once and for all throughout his extensive career. This guy had the balls to do things, you know, through the language of cinema, as he speaks. The language of cinema. What was he saying? Wow, well, let's find out. Let's find out what is going on with his natal chart, where he gets that vibe we all know that became like a signature, visually, aesthetically. The Lost Highway, I remember in film school at university. And that's when I realized I'm not that weird. It became the new metric. Twin Peaks, the new metric of TV series, the mysteries and all those things. We're gonna start with the ascendant. He was a Scorpio ascendant. And with the Scorpio ascendant people, I call them the vacuum cleaners. Those ones, the old school ones, you know, that you don't see the bag inside. Not the ones that are the new Dyson ones where you can actually see the whole, the cycle, whatever. Here, it is a nice retro vacuum cleaner that collects dust and you don't see it unless you really open it. And when you open it, you got dust in your face. So that's a Scorpio rising. Just don't open. Enjoy the shine outside. Enjoy the sleek lines. Just don't open it. Unless you really have to, yeah? If it's not working anymore and you need to reload, clear the dust out, Scorpio sign, just don't touch it unless they provide you with pointers or they walk towards you with a torch. Yeah. Scorpio rising, the mystery, the allure, the hidden agendas. What would be the hidden agenda of David Lynch? I guess the whole demeanor and the whole vibe about him was very kind of like, you know what, I'm cool, I'm aloof, I'm fine, like everything is great, but you know there is something deeper going on, something that is just not fully visible. This is the nature of the Scorpio risings. You kind of always have to dig a bit deeper to understand exactly why they're showing up this way or not showing up. And with David Lynch, I guess maybe an example would be, let's say you're an actor in David Lynch's film, or an actress, and then you have done it. You've done the take, and then you just keep looking at David, and he would just have this poker face on, and you wouldn't know what happened. Was it a good take? Was it a bad take? I guess you'll find out later, yeah? So that's what... Okay, well, let's keep going. The interesting thing, what I would say, is the anaretic degree of his sun. And then conjunct Venus in Capricorn. I have Venus in Capricorn, and I did direct films as well. So it's very like good film director pointer here, in position. An anaretic degree of Capricorn, I feel the fact that he did have such a good body of work, whatever the means were, is like, let's just get it done. And yeah, he was also the fact that he has passed away, and it was related to his habits, like smoking, smoked his whole life. I'm not really surprised with this position of the sun and the Venus. It's not that, like, I mean, if you have last degree, anaretic degree, Capricorn Sun with the Venus, obviously, guys, it's it's individual, because we're looking not only at the chart, we're looking at David Lynch, and he has a soul, I hope. We're looking at, from the standpoint of evolutionary astrology, the fact that we are born and we evolve through the lifetime, and astrology, the natal chart, is that toolkit in our camp that we are using or not using in order to evolve, right? So with this cardinal, very forward-thinking and stubborn and like goal-oriented Sun and Venus there, Venus being, Sun being like the self, right? The highest achievement of the self, with the Capricorn there, and Venus, the values. It's like, we are doing this thing and we're gonna have it done, and we think about, the details a bit later. Like, yeah, I know this is bad, but I like this energy. I like this energy, even though he could be with the last degree of Capricorn Sun, intense, like, and the Scorpio Rising, intense. He also has Sessi square, which is a square and a half to Uranus. All of that is in the third house. So he wanted good team players there. So he was very specific with who he's going to work and what he's going to say to each particular person. Very direct, and he would get ideas out of other people, and he would find new solutions to existing ways of doing things, and he would not use but like utilize the talents, the skill sets, the viewpoints, the working of the minds of his partners around him, people who he was working with for a long time, and he would be happy to try to work with the new teams and explore new avenues and new companies and new production sets and all of those things. So we know now that, yeah, if he finds someone better, he will go for that person. How do you combine being loyal, trustworthy, but also going for what you want within the bigger scheme of things? And you, through that, you innovate Uranus. You innovate how people think about filmmaking, how they execute filmmaking, how they create it. I love this energy. That's kind of what gave him, even though he was like this kind of like thick and heavy from the first initial, I guess, impression. With other people, he actually was like, not cutting, but it's like, okay, well, what else do you have? Like, let's say you present him an idea and he would be like, what else do you have? This is crap. What else? And it's like, oh, wow, well, like the brain starts working and the new ideas are happening. And now you see like a whole aesthetic is being developed. A whole style is being created. A whole legacy is being created just because it's like, what else do you have? Show me. Prove to me. Let's try. I've got goosebumps. I mean, yeah, I think I would cry from happiness if I had a chance to even be on the set of David Lynch. And then one of the other things is that he had an urgency. So there was not just like, yeah, okay. It was an urgency, like, we have to fulfill this legacy. Like, we are doing it, and he knows why he's doing it, and all of it is falling into place. Again, with the Sun in Capricorn, and Venus right there, and then Mercury is also in Capricorn. He was very diligent. It was like a good work ethic. So even though everyone is like floating around like butterflies, electrified butterflies around him, giving all those ideas and providing ideas and bouncing the ideas with the team, there's also that structure to it. We're making a silly movie here. It's like, this movie, this is what I want people to feel, this is what I want people to do. It's like very diligent, very structural, no BS type of energy, and commanding respect. So he kind of was born to be the big figure in cinema. Okay, well, knowing this pragmatic, practical approach, why surrealism? Why pick such an interesting movement, right? Style, movement, the mystery. So we see the moon in Virgo in the 10th house. Attention to detail. If you have been working on David Lynch's set and you're an actor or like even a coffee boy or whatever, you have survived. Great. Because this guy is gonna go after you. if a little like tiny bit of hair is like not in the right place, like it's done. You're done. attention to detail. My goodness. So Capricorn Sun, Virgo Moon, Scorpio Rising. You're already feeling like, you can walk through the door, but do not leave. Do not leave your stuff behind when you leave. And when you leave for good, because you are not good. All right, that's kind of the name of the game. Wow. He has created not only legacy in terms of a big body of work, but also how the moon, how this body of work, 10th house, career, has made people feel, the moon. And now people are actually paying attention to meticulous sound design in pictures. They are paying attention to lighting. They pay attention to like how big the pupils are in the actress's face. They pay attention now. And that is the legacy. People started watching movies, how directors watch movies. I love that. He created meticulously, I wouldn't say perfect, but like almost perfect experiences, visual experiences, so that the standard and the originality and the aesthetic just went so high that now, like, if you're in film school, you better be just like that in terms of your mindset, in terms of your production value, in terms of all these other things. And he blew everyone out of the water. I mean, like, not everyone, but like he blew this music video, cinematography. There's no depth there. There's no mystery. One-off. He removed that. It's like no more one-offs. We are creating cinema, we are creating art, we are creating a story, we are changing people's lives. Like, yeah, thanks. Thank you, David. Thank you. And maybe the secret to David Lynch's health, even though he didn't really bother with the smoking, all his life, Moon in Virgo gives, when he was working, that's when he was healthy, with a cigarette in hand. This is it. He was working equals he was healthy. When the work has stopped, the health went. But because he was very focused on what he wanted to make, it had to be all in, right? It's a Scorpio rising. It's all or nothing energy. An heretic degree Capricorn. Go, go, go. Spin the tire. Moon in Virgo. 10th house. Trining the south node in Sagittarius in the 2nd house. Like, no matter what, no matter how much that is, no matter what, no matter how many packs a day. Like, let's just get this thing done. Let's roll it. God bless you, David Lynch. You did well with this chart. He did really well with the chart. The Moon in Virgo was like a theme of service to the society at large. His craft, his art was a service to us all. And so many people are talking about David Lynch. If you're not talking about him, you're not cool. And I mean, I guess maybe if you are talking about it, you're not cool. Because everyone is, and that's what it says, like humanity says thank you, and I can be the representative of humanity. Thank you. So the Mercury in Capricorn is the ability to create a structural narrative from chaos. The ruler of Gemini is Mercury. And we have Uranus and the North Node again in the last degree in Gemini. From the evolutionary perspective, and it's in the 8th house, he was focusing on the message and the message that is shared. So the message of, I would even say, the collective conscience, of the collective unconscious, he was exploring that, unpacking that, delivering it in a way that maybe not everyone can understand straight away, but if they are Capricornian and diligent and logically speaking, will finish the film, right? They will finish the series, the whole totality, and that totality will create a message. When you kind of like chew it bit by bit, bite it bit by bit, it's kind of like unclear. That's why the whole allure was there of the Twin Peaks, for example. Like, it was a hard watch, but it was like, okay, I get it when I have finished it. maybe I didn't. Let's go again. And this unfolding of meanings, a folding of knowledge, that's what kind of he wanted to get. He wanted to get there. Did he get there? Well, we don't know, because with the North Node, it's one of those things that everyone will make an attempt to get to that place where the soul hasn't really been yet. Oh, maybe she, the soul has been there, but it wants to be there now, this lifetime. So North Node, last degree of Gemini, in the 8th house, let's share the collective conscience, the collective unconscious stories. And by conscience, I mean awareness of our reality. He was ripping reality, rippling reality to see what bounces back and forth and what transpires through that search, through that chaos. But because it's cinema, you have to know what you're doing. You have to have a plan. Mercury is in Capricorn, Venus is in Capricorn, the sun is there as well. It's like, boom, let's guys, you go there, blah, 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 poker face, do it again. It's like, thank you, wow. I mean, I am grateful that we have people born like David Lynch who make the wave, who ripple the collective unconscious, who ask questions, who answer the questions, and it's all visual. It is all a language of cinema. And he was truthful. He was truthful. And yeah, of course, Venus is in Capricorn. It's like a timeless beauty, yeah? It's that timeless beauty. Simple as that. Now, let's talk about Mars conjunct Saturn retrograde in David Lynch's chart, which actually is like a topic. When I was talking about the collective unconscious and conscious, that's the topic he was exploring. Home-related manners, home-related bad manners, to put it very mildly. The strife in the domestic life, Cancer, Saturn together. It's like, poor guy. To have that position in the 8th house, I think he was outsourcing his therapy on the film set. That all of that is kind of opposing his Mercury in Capricorn. He was really bringing these issues up. The issues of the strife in the domestic setting, the strife in the psyche, in the human psyche, the 8th house. The desire to freaking understand why. Why, like, do we screw each other over like that? In a family setting, in a shared resources setting, when we share but we're greedy and we don't know what to share, or when we like put our heart on the platter and just be like, take it. That has created a big question mark for many people who are not only fans of David Lynch and his body of work, but also as it became kind of mainstream 30 years later for obvious reasons. Yeah. Even people who don't know about like exactly what David Lynch wanted to say. He was kind of there lurking in the background, and the issues became the issues. Domestic violence is the issue. Fragmentation of psyche is an issue. Renewal, the 8th house, renewal of that. When David Lynch would travel and explore new places, new avenues, he would get profoundly transformed, and he would get his inspirations from faraway lands and going there with his friends, seeing how they were doing art there. He was like an explorer, but also the explorer through maybe literature, the books he was reading, trying to look for answers, maybe why my life like this, why was my childhood like that, trying to heal those aspects of himself, and then working on those themes in his work, shedding a light onto that darkness. And that has created a huge cultural impact, right? Because look, we've got very interesting Jupiter in Libra, loose conjunction with Chiron. Neptune is there in the 11th house, trining, a beautiful air trine to that Uranus in another air sign in Gemini. The cultural impact wide and large, and because Chiron is there and it's in Libra, look, relationship, the big groups of people, the way they relate to each other, that's one thing, but also on a personal level, how do you relate back to that healing, to that expansion, going to see David Lynch film with your friends, looking at the film and all the themes that are covered in there, and then your inner child is like, I'm doing it, and that's great. I love that. Jupiter in Libra is a very calm demeanor and analytical, so David Lynch would look at the society at large and really put on that big vision, right? He's a person of the big vision and meticulous attention to detail, and I feel that is the catalyst of his success, because you want to be skilled, right, in a range of aspects, and I feel here this is what we have. I do like this position, Jupiter in Libra with Chiron there. Maybe he was not as like open in terms of like new friends. I feel like he had like a very tight-knit circle, very curated circle, but he was also like, like, I mean, not like a tight ass when it comes to being involved in the community, very much like an open book. But to get to the last page, you would have to have some of that common ground with the Chiron. You have to have a little bit of that wound there that you want to talk about. You want to bring it up. You're not afraid of it. You want to find the balance and balance out not just yourself, but like balance out this up world. How do you find balance in that? And maybe going with the flow that could take you there, and having a square from that to Jupiter square the Sun, and that Sun in Capricorn, Jupiter in Libra square Sun, and Venus in Capricorn is like, all right, cool. I think we're not gonna go with the flow today, guys. We're gonna make our own flow and watch everyone swim right with us in that current, the one that we created meticulously, bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit, for a bigger change, the bigger influence. So we touch as many people as we can. So we cover as big of a concept as we can. And of course, as it is in Jupiter is in Libra, that's like a communication, like air sign is communication in the 11th house of communication, organizations, groups. Like his reach was wide. I mean, even if he was a shoemaker, he would still be, having his boutiques all over the world and all those things. So it's like, it's a given in his chart. He has that kind of helping that right there. And you don't even know the origin of that, because Neptune is that kind of washes out the origins, washes out that group affinity. So maybe, yeah, I will stand by the fact that he was very picky with his friends still, because, with Neptune, you have to be careful with who you trust, right? Maybe soothing, soothsayers all around him, and he's like, you're too much, you're too fake. Get out, you're fake. I don't think he really vibed with the fake people. And that what is half of Hollywood. Very brave of him as well, just to be like even rubbing with those guys, because he would just want to balance it out, like, we've got a bunch of spoiled strawberries here, but I'm the good strawberry there. I'm not saying that everyone has sin, everyone has like the dark side, but we are just talking about the legacy that David Lynch has left. And I have hope in originality of the cinema, just thanks to the body of work that David Lynch has produced with his team, because definitely the team aspect is huge. 11th house placements, 8th house placements, 3rd house placements, like all of those involves others. It involves back and forth, a balancing of the opposites, right? So that's what he was doing. Well, shall we kind of look at the last day of David Lynch? Let's have a look what happened to him on the last day. I just want to touch on one more thing. So with the Pluto, how could I not talk about Pluto? Pluto retrograde in Leo, kind of related to that Mars and Saturn here. Related to, because the 9th house is related to Jupiter. And it is related to the 5th house, where David Lynch has a part of fortune in the 5th house. So the more creativity, the more expression, the more fortunate he was. And he could spread his message far and wide because of that. Yes. I mean, it's opposing Neptune, so maybe his fortune was kind of a bit fickly, but that would depend on whether or not he accepted the invitation to this very la-di-da gala evening or not, and whether he accepted people from the circles in his heart. If that was the wrong person, David Lynch's fortune was like sand through the fingers. So very important for him to find the right crew, the right allies. Like in the airport, this one, the one that scans you. So yeah, I think he would have one of those literally moved around him. He would have one of those, his assistant would be carrying one of those around, so that the people who want to be in his circle, they would do that first, and then they talk to him. Of course, all of this is interpretive and metaphorical, and my personal opinion, and I'm not saying it was the truth, right? I'm not saying it was literally that machine right there. I didn't see it. I'm just having analogies and metaphors to understand the severity of the energies in his natal chart. So the Pluto, he influenced generations upon generations upon generations to come. And that's great. Creativity, the deep, penetrating, raw, gut-wrenching creativity, unapologetic, innovative, crazy, good. It's so good, it's bad. It's so bad, it's good kind of thing. Like Pluto in Leo in the ninth house. Like, let's go, guys. Where are we going? Like a creative legacy of the phoenix. Mm-hmm. Immortal, inspiring. All right. Yeah, let's look at the last day. So that was the 15th of January. Moon over Pluto. Moon passing over Pluto. And that was like just 5 days before his birthday. Mars just went over his Mars and Saturn. I feel like David Lynch knew, like, this is it. This is kind of the full circle. So his Mars went full circle, initiated a new cycle, and that was the cycle. That was it. I don't think it was like by any surprise, the action and the reaction, cause and effect. So it was like that. It was not like happy smooth sailing, like, you know, like a foot massage or anything like that. It's a Martian energy. Mars is going retrograde. So it went retrograde when? Oh, yeah, it was already here, and then it went retrograde. Yeah. So it was already here, 12th of October, and then we have Mars on his North Node in September. So from September, October, it was like a decline. I mean, it could be even earlier, obviously. And look, we've got Pluto wrapping up over his Sun. The Pluto in Capricorn was here for 15 years, and now it's finally finishing. And I feel it's like the ending with David Lynch's death is like ending of an era in a way, the era of going for things at whatever expense that is. So on one hand, no matter what the habits are, the lifestyle, it's the most important thing is that drive, and that's what took him there. But on the other hand, decomposing the reality, the structures, like with the surreal work, the surreal style, but also creating so much goodness, so much product, so much legacy, that actually that redefines the whole system once again. Pluto in Capricorn, the transformation of the systems. So he realized that. He's like, yep, cool, I've done it. Now it's time to check out and reincarnate again, or maybe not. Maybe transcend into higher realms. I don't know. I'm not at that age to kind of be old and tired and, you know, barely moving across the room, you know, knowing that the end is near. I don't know how that feels, but I have a feeling that's kind of like a bittersweet moment as well, because you know you have done the best you can, and you have freaking done it. You have. It's like a good feeling. You know, like after a workout, you have done it, and like, I've pushed it. I've pushed myself. And yes, I'm a wreck, but look at that. I'm freaking David Lynch. Yo. Classy. And yeah, you see on his last day, yeah, Pluto has already kind of went over the Sun. Sun is on his Venus. Venus is conjuncting Saturn, sort of almost there, and Neptune is conjuncting the North Node. Let's just ease out. Let's dissolve. Let's ease out. And I feel like that his last day was at home. I'm not sure. I didn't check that information. You guys tell me, was it at the hospital? Was it at home? To me, it feels like it was at home. And it was restrictive, like in terms of what he could do, melancholic, with the Pisces energy there, heavy in the sky, Saturn and Venus. But it was also like a wholesome experience. It was spiritual experience too. And yeah, wow. And look, guys, the nodes are squaring David Lynch's nodes, and the leaf blower, hang on. And the white moon, what's her face? The white moon literally went over the North Node there. All right, it was a blessed passing. I mean, blessed, like, sometimes like all these cool words, like the really meaningful, lovely words, they just got so hijacked by, and you can't even use them without people thinking something is wrong with you. But what I want to say from the evolutionary perspective, from the point that we do reincarnate, from the standpoint that our soul is eternal, and I feel like David Lynch has moved on and onto a new. He is moving forward. Moving forward, meaning evolving, not devolving. Even though we're all evolving and devolving all the time, but it feels to me like the path, it has created the change needed. It has addressed things needed. It has performed necessary earthly work when it comes to the collective unconscious. The collective unconscious is all energy that we don't know exists, but somewhere on the other side of the world, something is happening and we feel it somehow. And it's not through the news, it's not through the stories we are told, it's what we just feel. We just feel the state. We feel the state of our awareness, our humanity, our conditioning, all of those things. And it's like on the last day, the gears have shifted, and they have shifted moving forward. The vehicle is going forward. So the soul is growing. One last thing I'm going to say is that I feel David has changed his mind about many things. And I'm saying it because Jupiter went over his, retrograde Jupiter went over his Uranus, and the last 6 months, there has been like a epiphany after epiphany after epiphany. And of course, this is very personal. I can't like crawl inside his his field to suss it out. But it seems to me that there was an epiphany after an epiphany after epiphany. Well, that is my take on David Lynch's chart. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for more insightful, cool deciphering. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for all your support. Please like, share, subscribe. I love you so much, and I'm wishing you a wonderful day and so many lessons to learn from our beloved auteur of cinema, David Lynch, with his grit, with his wit, and with his style. Thank you for listening, and I will see you on the next video.